Hi, my name is Asha Longsworth, and today I will be presenting my personal and ethical visionary statement, a poster board presentation. To start off, I'm just going to introduce myself a little bit. My name is Asha Sophia Longsworth. I am a communications major with a minor in American law. I'm a third year in my undergrad, but this is my first year at La Verne because I recently just transferred from the community college, Mount Sac. And just to introduce myself just a little bit more, in the future, I do plan on going into politics and specifically law, which is why I decided to minor in American law. I do plan on going to law school after getting my bachelor's degree. And I say this just because it coincides with the first question, which is what are your core values that guide your moral compass? So, my core values in summary are community, perseverance, and relationship, specifically relationship over religion. And when I say community, I feel like that's one of my core values simply just because I was raised in a family where my blood family wasn't the only family I had. My mom very heavily emphasized to me the more community you have and like the way you value your village per se is how that translates into like how like you will act like in your career and how you're just going to treat people like in general. And my personal village consists of like friends who became family via my parents over the span of years. And that's something that I carry with me. And I plan on doing that as I live my life. And I feel like community is so valuable, and I strive to create community wherever I go. Perseverance, specifically because I'm a very tenacious person, I'm very driven. And one of the guiding, I guess, questions that I live by would be, do you want it? Yes or no? Because I feel like in life, it's simply yes or no. Like if you're lukewarm about something, then it's not really something you want. And I feel like if you want something, you should like really go after it and chase it. And relationship, specifically like relationship over religion, I'm a very spiritual person and I was raised in like a very religious household. And again, my mom is someone who has taught me to like deviate from like societal norms. Like I feel like in society, like we're kind of taught to not create community and kind of just pull yourself up by your bootstraps when community is so valuable. And in order to survive in this lifetime, especially to survive like in a capitalistic society, I feel like it's imperative to create community wherever you go. Now, applying that same thought process to relationship over religion, I feel like I value my faith so much and I hold it true to just like my actions, my thoughts, and like what I say to people and how I feel towards people. So I'm a very intentional person, and I feel like I value relationship with God over religion and how religion teaches you to perceive God. This is just my personal opinion and how I choose to lead my life. The second question is, what are the influences that shaped your ethical values? I feel as though the influences that shape my ethical values are number one, God, two, the maternal figures in my life, and three, love. First, God, again, I grew up like in a very like religious and also spiritual household, and I feel like because of that, I've always learned to like carry that with me. And there was a time like where I didn't really value that as much, but I think as an adult, especially being in college, when I feel like there's so many like distractions, I feel like the one thing that has been a constant in my life that has always like made me feel calm, comforted, and supported has always been God. And also, I identify as Christian, and I feel like that like spiritual belief and like that like just backing like of my faith has really like propelled me to like have opportunities that I don't think I ever could have had before. And it's just because of like my tenacity that was given to me by God. And yeah, so that's like my number one influence that shaped my ethical values. And two, I would say my maternal figures in my life, specifically my mom and one of my aunts who raised me, who actually turned out to be like a family friend who wasn't really blood related to me at all. And I feel like the women in my life really taught me, again, how to treat people, and the way you treat people is probably the thing that matters most in life. And in terms of like other ethical values, they also taught me to like love myself and also to work hard because no one else is going to work hard for you. And I think something else that they've also taught me is to just confide in your family and to just really value your family. I feel like all of the women in my life have really just emphasized leading with love and taking care of the people around you and loving the people around you and just taking them with you like wherever you go. And three, the third influence that shaped my ethical values is love. I feel like I really do try to lead with love and light wherever I go. And the way I perceive love has changed over the couple of years. And I feel like it's because of the pain that I feel like love has caused me, as well as the joy that love has caused me. And I feel like for a long time, I valued romantic love over platonic love, when there's so many different like variations of how you can experience love. And I feel like love is just such like a powerful force, and I just choose to love every single day. And I just love love. So yes. And the third question is, what are your aspirations? I personally aspire to cultivate community and unite people with polarized ideologies. Love is a choice, and I choose to love over indifference and hate. I aspire to lead with love no matter what. Now, just to break down my response, I aspire to cultivate community that has stemmed from my upbringing, and specifically when it comes to uniting people with polarized ideologies. I feel like in America, we live in a country where we live in a bipartisan country, and we have a bipartisan system, but then we value like partisanship very, very much, as well as individualism. And I feel like ideologies are thought to be like our identities, when that's not. Our ideologies can shape our identities. However, I don't believe we are our ideologies, and I believe that like we as people just need to see each other more, not for our labels, but for our lived experiences. And again, love is a choice, and I choose to love over indifference and hate. And I've learned that the opposite of love is indifference. It's not actually hate. And I just choose to love people. And it can be really hard at times, but I feel like it's the best way to lead and live my life. And again, I aspire to lead with love and light no matter what. And the fourth question is, what do you want to contribute to the greater good? And I feel like something I want to contribute to the greater good is, again, I just want to show people that you can love others without agreeing with them. And I want to do that specifically by just like being an example of love, and also just deviating from like social norms. And I feel like, again, like our society operates very much so based off of like labels and ideologies, and like even just the idea of like left and right and Democrat and Republican. And it's something that bothers me a lot, just because I feel like we're just people at the end of the day, and we choose to value these labels over one another and one another's lived experiences. So I guess to condense that response, I would want to contribute love and nonconformity to the greater good of society. Now, I will be presenting my poster board, which I am very, very excited about, and I will be putting this on my wall. So thank you, Professor Nuevo Cho, for this assignment, because I feel really inspired by it. So my personal leadership vision statement is, I will talk and help people by leading with love and light, by me. And I spelled talk, T-O-K, and people, P-E-P, capital O, capital L, because I did an assignment in first grade, I believe, where we were asked if we were president, what would we do? And I said I would talk and help people. And I feel like I still live by that same type of thought process. And I just want to talk and help people. Now, this first image is a picture of me and my speech and debate coach from Mount SAC. And he honestly changed my life and my perspective on what it means to be a public speaker, and the weight that words carry, and how you can really touch people's hearts and minds by speaking and also listening. And I put these two pictures beneath this picture because this is actually us at a national competition where I became a 2-time silver medalist in speech and debate. And I feel like this, where I did this, is supported by my mom. And so these are two pictures of me and my mom. This is my mom and I on my first or second birthday, and it was Dora themed, so I was dressed as Dora. And my mom has just been like my biggest supporter my entire life, and I love her, and she's an inspiration behind everything I do, and she's my motivation, and she's the hardest working person I know, and I love her so much. And this is me and my mom at signing day for the University of La Verne, because again, she's just my hero, and she's been there for me no matter what. This is my poster board. Thank you for listening. That is all, and thank you for this assignment. It's been an honor.